Hey family, it's Chef Rick, and welcome back to Flavor Lab Wednesday on Unseen Cuisine, Cooking Without Limits. Now on Monday, we spent some time getting to know cereals and grain meals. We talked about oatmeal, grits, polenta, cream of wheat, and cream of rice. And all of these grains have been cracked, rolled, or ground to different sizes. Today, I want to answer a question you may or may not have even thought about before. Why does cream of wheat feel silky and smooth, while grits feel hearty? Why does a bowl feel almost like pudding and the other one feels more rustic and textured? And how can your hands tell the difference before you even take a bite? Now, with these questions, let's go talk about it. Part 1. Your fingers already know the answers. Before we even turn on the stove, grab a little bit of cream of wheat. Now grab a little bit of coarse grits or polenta. Tactile cue, rub each one between your fingers. Feel that difference? The cream of wheat almost disappears. It's soft, fine, and smooth. Now, feel the grits. The particles are bigger, more noticeable, more substantial. Sensory reminder. Your fingers are already predicting the final texture. The finer the grain, the smoother the finished dish usually becomes. The coarser the grain, the more textured you're likely to feel when it's done. Before the cooking even starts, the grain is already giving you clues. Part 2. What is happening when the liquid shows up? Now, let's add liquid, because this is where things get interesting. Audio cue. As you begin stirring, listen to the pot. At first, the mixture sounds loose, almost watery. The spoon moves freely. A little resistance, but stay with it and keep stirring. Tactile cue. Feels what happened. The spoon begins to slow down. The mixture starts pushing back. Not a lot, just enough for you to notice. That's the grain pulling in the liquid. That's the grain changing. And every minute you stay connected to that process, your confidence grows. Part 3. Why some cereals become creamy. Now, let's talk about that silky texture. The one you get from cream of wheat or cream of rice. Tactile cue. As you stir, pay attention to the spoon. The mixture starts coating it, almost wrapping around it. Everything feels smooth, unified, connected. Texture cue. Take a small spoonful. Let it cool. Notice how there aren't any individual particles standing out? Everything blends together. That's what creates that creamy mouthfeel. That's comforting texture many people love. Part 4. Why grits and polenta feel different. Now, let's switch gears for a minute. Let's think about grits or coarse polenta. Tactile cue. Even when fully cooked, you still notice tiny particles. You still feel texture. The mixture may be creamy, but it still has structure, still has a personality. Sensory reminder. That's not a mistake. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. Some grains are meant to feel silky. Others are meant to feel hearty. The goal isn't making everything smooth. The goal is understanding what grain is trying to tell you it wants to become. Part 5. Your nose can check for freshness too. Now let's bring our nose into the conversation for a minute. Before cooking, take a breath. Aroma cue. Fresh grains smell often sweet, nutty, warm, comforting. Now, if something smells off, stale, bitter, oily, or just doesn't smell right, I would really want you to pay attention to that. Sensory reminder. Your nose is one of the best quality control tools you own. Trust it. If something feels off, it probably is. Part 6. Why seasoning brings everything together. Now let's finish the dish. Add your salt, maybe a little bit of alternative butter, maybe some herbs or spices depending on what you're making. Then stop for a second. Aroma cue. Take a breath. Notice how the aroma changes. The smell feels fuller, more complete, more inviting. Flavor cue. Good seasoning doesn't cover up flavor. It helps reveal the flavor. That's why properly seasoned grains feel more satisfying, more balanced, more finished. Now think about what you just experienced. You use touch to understand grain size, texture to follow the cooking process, aroma to evaluate freshness, sensory awareness to understand the finished dish. That is the Unseen Cuisine Method. You're not just watching the grain change, you're experiencing the transformation through your senses. Here's what I want you to remember. Every grain meal is trying to tell you something. The texture tells you how it wants to be cooked. The aroma tells you how fresh it is. The spoon tells you when it's thickening. The finished dish tells you whether you have achieved your goal. The question is, are you listening? Because The more you pay attention to those clues, the more confidence you'll become in the kitchen. Before we wrap up, here's your challenge. Next time you make oatmeal, grits, polenta, cream of wheat, or any hot cereal, don't rush. Before you cook it, feel it. Notice whether the grain feels fine, medium, or coarse. As it cooks, pay attention to how the spoon moves through the pot. Listen to how the sound changes. Feel the texture developing, and take a moment to enjoy the aroma as it comes to life, because confidence doesn't come from memorizing a recipe. It comes from understanding what your food is trying to tell you. And if you're enjoying this journey through sensory cooking, be sure to follow, subscribe, and share Unseen Cuisine with someone who's ready to build more confidence in the kitchen. Because here, we're proving every day that great cooking isn't about what you see. It's about what your senses can sense. This is Chef Rick for Every Sense, Every Confidence, Every Cook. I'll see you next Flavor Lab Wednesday.